has the speech. It's not a lie. These people mean business. They mean business. And I want us to, many of you, to buy ClimateGate through Infowars.com. And may Brian Sussman sell 1 million copies and keep up the good work, guys.
Absolutely. I mean, the reason I start hyperventilating sometimes and talking fast, because as a normal person with family, these are criminals. These are scary people who all talk about how they want to reduce us down to 100 million or less. That's a 90+ reduction in world population. They want to not let Africa get power plants. I mean, these are horrible people. They're not misguided liberals. They're monsters.
Alex, I have a friend, and I speak of him in both of my books. This is a guy who is he's actually a partner with Al Gore at one of the venture capital firms in the Silicon Valley. This is if you and I were to sit down with this guy, he would be like our brother. But he's a businessman, and he's a partner of this firm where Al Gore was brought in as a partner as well. This guy has spoken to individuals who have actually attended the Bilderberger meetings. These are other, highfalutin venture capitalists, and he's talked to them about their, Bilderberger plans. Have a couple drinks, start talking, and these guys will tell you one of the reasons why they're invested in the green movement is because they see this as a green bubble, like the internet bubble, a green bubble, and they also see the entire global economy perhaps collapsing, and this may be their last shot at making big, big bucks. Now, if that's the case, that's why you have Al Gore and his ilk out there hyping global warming, because without global warming, without climate change, without ecological disaster, they don't have a chance to make all of this big money, which some of them will admit may be their last opportunity in a lifetime to score.
Listen, if you've got to go, Brian, that's fine. I'd like to do one more segment here so we can talk to Dan listening on XM 166 and a few others. Can you do it?
Let's do it.
Okay, great. We're going to go to break, come back in a little 6-minute segment, then I promise I'll get to all this other news after Brian leaves us. But it makes me so angry that we've got real environmental issues, real problems to face, and they are just brainwashing people in the public schools. They are brainwashing them everywhere. And I live in Austin, where my family, where my mom is from. Where I've got family going back to, the Alamo here in Central Texas. This is where I live. I love Austin. Most people here are constitutionalists. But you've got a tiny clique of crooks that run my town. And they are just stealing everything. And I want to beat these people. All right, Alex Jones here, back live. During the break with calculators, we're public school educated, so it took a while. We did the math. There's a little over 7 billion people in the world, and most globalists say reduce this by 90%. The liberals go, no, only kill 80% by wars, cutting off food, whatever. But it's 1.43%. So they want to reduce the population from 7 billion to 100 million, because the U.S. population is only 4% of the world. We're 310 million. It's 1.43. So they want to reduce the world population by over 98% if they want to reduce us down to 100 million, as some of them say. And because they have this idea that they will all then be theirs, and they're going to have the life extension technologies and the rest of it, they don't want you to have that. This is what they say. They want the future for themselves. They are the most vicious, selfish, pig-like people on earth, and they're running around lecturing us. And the CIA's bragging they're wiring our houses with it to spy on us. I mean, these people are the ultimate threat. It's basically like body snatchers took over or something, okay? I mean, we're so late in the game here. These people are vicious scum. You cannot hate them enough. I'm just going to be honest with you. I mean, we're in a desperate situation. I'm sorry I'm ranting, but there's just got to be some way out of this with these monsters. Dan, listening on XM 166, you're on the air with best-selling author Brian Sussman of Eco-Tyranny. Go ahead.
Alex, this is P.I. Dan, your Bilderberg videographer.
Oh, yeah, buddy. How you doing?
Real good, sir. I had an epiphany. I remember the conversation I had with my dad when I was like 10 years old. And he was talking about how a quote from Nikita Khrushchev, it's 4 sentences long. It says, "We will take America without firing a shot. We will bury you. We can't expect American people to jump from capitalism to communism, but we can assist their elected leaders in giving them small doses of socialism until they awaken one day to find that they have communism. We do not have to invade the United States. We will destroy it from within."
Yeah, and that's because the same bankers, the Rockefellers, set them up. That's why this is, because if you read None Dare Call It Conspiracy, that incidentally we sell at InfoWarsShop.com, that woke myself up and helped the light bulb come on for Brian, it explains there's an ultra-rich group who hates middle class and independent wealthy. I appreciate your call, sir. You want to comment on that?
Well, yeah, and getting back to this population control, because, Alex, it all ties in. You have Hillary Clinton at the UN's International Conference on Population and Development talking about the launch of a new program in the United States that will be the centerpiece of foreign policy. That new program was $63 billion to go to the third world to reduce population. Now, how are they reducing population? Well, it's not by handing out condoms. It's by sterilization and abortion. That's $63 billion of our money for this particular UN population plan. That is a crime.
And Bill and Melinda Gates are helping finance abortion. And again, all these yuppies, they'll tell you, okay, I'm not really a liberal. I do want to kill these brown people. And I say to those racists, because they hate blacks and Hispanics and Asians so much, they dress as hippies to, as a cover. You know them. You live around them. They're in San Francisco. They'll tell you. It was like Margaret Sanger said, I want to kill these blacks so bad, we're going to pose as liberals. You can read her papers. She said, we're going to kill these weeds. They know what they're doing. I forget the point I was going to make. They're just so incredibly vicious.
Yes, they are. And Alex, getting back to the color of skin, look at the African continents. Look at, for example, how we decided that we weren't going to fight malaria with a compound that was known to work every time it was employed. And so we have millions of people dying of malaria. We have disease on the African continent, the likes of which is just unimaginable. And yet these liberals, these elites, stand by and let it happen. But God forbid that we would ever have infrastructure for clean water and infrastructure for sewers and infrastructure for power and electricity down there, because they don't want to, they say they don't want to mess with that pristine environment. Listen, this in and of itself is population control on the African continent.
You're absolutely right. And the point I was about to get to is that when you look at the numbers and just how diabolical all of this is, just their carbon taxes alone, Lord Monckton estimated would kill 1 billion people over the next decade. And if you industrialize, these people would actually have less children. It's just so cold-blooded what they're doing, and they're just running absolutely rampant. And I try to tell the hippies and the yuppies, hey, dummy, they're doing it to you too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're doing, these are equal opportunity destroyers. They will use any peon they can to front their product. But it's interesting when you talk to people. I talk to these kids out there with their clipboards from Greenpeace and the Sierra Club and the Nature Conservancy, and I'll start talking to them about liberty, and I'll talk to them about freedom. And their eyes begin to open a little bit when I show them that what they're fronting is antithetical to liberty and freedom. Their eyes start to open just a little bit, and that's why we need to keep...
Absolutely. Brian, we got to get you back up very soon. God bless you. The book's available at InfoWarsShop.com. Thank you so much, sir. Amazing. We'll be right back with the news. Stay with us.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run.
That's dedicated to... Mr. Napolitano, who's got looks that kill, the head of Homeland Security. Miss Napolitano. Looks that kill, not in a good way. I'm just being mean. I'm sorry. You got to be mean to these people, so I'm not sorry. They're a bunch of murdering globalist scum, pushing total tyranny, destroying our national sovereignty, legalizing the illegal aliens, engage in every crime you can imagine, funding al-Qaeda openly, and I personally am sick of them. All right, I promised to go to your phone calls, so I'm going to take 5 of them here. Ralph just called in, but he disagrees, so I'll put him at the head of the line. And then we'll go to Eric, Mike, Brian, and John. But I got to move quick because I've got to get more into the military news and the economic news and some other important cutlets of information here today. And I'm going to shoot some special reports after the show that are going to air Monday when Mike Adams sits in here. But there will be a special report Monday that Aaron and I are going to put together dealing with the nature of the globalists. Is going to be very, very important. Right now, let's talk to Ralph Lauren from Michigan. Come on down. You disagree. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Alex, I'm calling to correct a meaningful error of fact that I hear on your program from time to time concerning the origins of federal income tax, Alex. I've heard it said that we got the income tax with the 16th Amendment, or we got the income tax with the Federal Reserve Act, and these are both incorrect, Alex.
Oh,
we
really?
got the income tax in 1862 with the Revenue Act of 1862, Alex. And that tax was an excise tax, Alex. And an excise tax is an indirect tax. It's not a direct tax. And if you've got to move quick here, Alex, I'll move as quick as I can here, because let me first give credit to the book that is responsible for my education on this matter.
Oh, is that the book he wrote?
Excuse me, sir?
Is that the book he wrote?
I didn't write a book, no, but I'm going to tell you about the book.
Oh, you're pausing on that authority deal. I'm done with you. I appreciate your call. Listen, I don't mind somebody calling up to correct me or whatever, and I'll look into that, but just the, hey, that's good. Just go do it. I mean, that's great, bud. I'm bad. You're good. Everything, we got the story. You can send me a email about the book if you want me to look it up. I just the Federal Reserve came in 1913, and they passed the 16th Amendment, and I've interviewed all the scholars who went, like Bill Benson and Red Beckman, the founder of the fully informed jury movement, you name it, all the lawyers, all the Congress people, all of it. We got what you know of as this income tax, this progressive income tax, the same year to pay the Federal Reserve, and that's in the Communist Manifesto. That's in the Communist Manifesto. You get a central bank and then get an income tax to finance it. And they had the Ronald Reagan's commission back in 81. Was it called the Reese Commission or the Grace Commission? I had an original copy of it out there in my stack. We just cleaned off the table. I was covering it about a month ago. And it's not true. The income tax is unconstitutional. It's been proven to be. It wasn't even ratified by the states. That's been proven. And it's the Federal Reserve you pay the money to. And so, yeah, they had some other taxes that a lot of people argue are unconstitutional, and I'll look up that particular one. But I mean, that was just the venom of it all, just bizarre. I mean, you can pick up a lot from a voice, but just very strange. You want to do those pregnant pauses? Bye bye. You know what? I mean, play games with. I mean, I put you up front. But weird little games that people do. I just can't do it. Let's go ahead and talk to Eric in Canada. You're on the air. Welcome.
Oh, hi, Alex. Nice to talk to you again.
Good. Thank you.
I had an idea. You were asking, what can we do? And it's just, it occurred to me, since the government is openly more or less corporatistic and fascistic, maybe we should get a citizens union going or something,
Yeah, and I agree with you, but they infiltrate those and call them terrorists, but you still got to go ahead and do it. Just anybody that calls for violence, is an operative or misguided. But we've all got to do something. I mean, I think the main thing is they can't get away with this without moral authority. So just every way you can, whether it's banner hangs or YouTube videos or Facebook posts or everybody, just hammer the enemy. And that's how we're going to defeat them and expose the private Federal Reserve and expose that they have similar systems in every other country they control. First thing they did when they took over Baghdad was put in a central bank and start all that manipulation. These bankers take control because they control the fiat issuance of currency and credit, and now we live and die by them in this global government.
Yeah, but, if someone like yourself or maybe Jesse Ventura would head up something like this, someone, that's trustworthy,
Well, I mean, Ron Paul's done a lot of good identifying the problems. We can debate the solutions all day, and Rand Paul overall is doing a good job. But, I mean, I'm sure, we can come out with basic ideas and a manifesto against their tyranny, but I'm just busy trying to identify the globalists and how they're operating just to get people somewhat awake. And then I believe in the power of crowdsourcing of the people, that all of you are going to be able to crush these folks. God bless you. It's good to hear from you. Look, despite all their propaganda,